Yes, guys, welcome back to yet another video on the bridge side. I hope you're all good. I'm pretty good. Slept well. It's Father's Day. Gave my dad a card nap, normal stuff. But today, big video. Today I'm doing my Premier League predictions. This is going to be pre-transfer window, so we're going to review it towards the end of the transfer window. So this one's going to be interesting. You need to stay locked in on this one. I'm probably going to offend quite a few people. Obviously, as Chelsea fans, don't worry. I got your back. But yeah, there's a certain fan group, well, a couple fan groups out there I think are going to be quite annoyed by this one and quite controversial. So, I'm not going to make this video drag out. I'm going to keep this hopefully under 10 minutes so that when we review it, we can really judge ourselves and go, oh my God, how have you even picked that one? But yeah, as we're going through this, please let me know who you think your top 3, top 4, top 5, your relegation. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you think. But without further ado, let's get into the video. What you can see on my screen is you can see a table that I have made. So you got your champions, your top 5, your middle table, your bottom half, and your relegation battle. So moving straight into it. Now I've thought about this and I thought, oh, should I start with relegation? Should I start middle table? Or do I start with the champions? Get the favourable ones out of the way at the moment. Going into next season, I think without any transfers or the supposable transfers that have already been taken place, you've got your likes of Man City. And I do believe Man City are once again next season going to come through and dominate the league. I think they would have if they didn't have that hiccup, in the middle where they lost quite a few games in a row. We were all laughing, we were loving it. We really thought that they'd absolutely crashed out. But I think, I think Man City are probably going to do it again. So, and it pains me to say it because I think Pep Guardiola has ruined football. I think he's made football into a robotic game of tactics and positioning and possession holding football and sideways and backwards and playing from the keeper. And I think it's really taken out that personal flair that people bring to the game. You remember Jack Grealish at Aston Villa when he went to Man City? Sorry, Jack, but should have never left, mate. Should have never left. Sometimes the money just can't be good enough, can it? Okay, so unfortunately, champions for me, Manchester City. Certain fan group, you're going to want to cover your ears because you are not finishing second this season. I actually think they're going to bottle it this season massively, but I will not mention their name until I think they're going to finish second. So, in second place, okay? Right. It's going to be runners-up, Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to finish straight back in the top 2. The high press, the attacking efficiency. I really believe that he just followed from Klopp's blueprint last season. I remember there was a period at the beginning when their style just slowed down. The passing, the attacking, everything was slower. And I think a lot of people realise that. And I think he even realised that, oh no, my tactics ain't going to work. And he just went, you know what, let's just keep with what Klopp did. Let's just carry it on, be aggressive, on the front foot, possession holding. And if we ain't got possession, press high. They won the league by 10 points over Arsenal. But I still think Man City would have won the league if they never had that hiccup. I think Man City probably missed out on probably 18, 20 points. With Liverpool being in second, third place. Now this is going to really wind people up, and I hope it does. And I actually really believe it's going to be Chelsea. And the reason I think it's Chelsea is considering we've had a very underwhelming season, especially with how well we finished it. I think that the first half being so poor, followed by such an aggressive and well-played second half. Some were saying Maresca's substitutes were, genius. He made the genius subs when he needed to. But as fans, we all felt that horrible, just complete disappointing first half football of we couldn't control the game. The passing was awful. We were letting other teams control us. It was so underwhelming. But then we were so solid at the same time. So I think with the right transfers coming in, with certain players, I think really starting to make a stand. And we have the likes of Delap, a new striker. Yeah, I think we're really going to do it. I think we're going to be a very solid team next season. I'm not saying we're going to smoke. I'm not blowing smoke on my own ass, but I really see us being a very strong contender, and I think we're going to quite happily finish in the top 4. Now, this is not me just doing this because obviously, being a London club, we have to hate our London rivals. This is not it. There's actually another team who I think are going to finish 4th. And I think a lot of you will agree with this, even though, yes, Arsenal are a great team, and I will get into that. I think Newcastle will finish 4th. I know. Everyone's going, but Dave, it's fine. Like Arsenal, they're so good, but Arsenal, they always finish 2nd, blah, blah, blah. I think Arsenal are going to finish 5th. And Newcastle, look, they're a strong-ass team. I don't even need to talk about Newcastle too much. They've got such a physical, big team. I think if they can get the squad depth, if anything, I think one day they'll be challenging. But for now, I think next season, I think 4th for Newcastle again is a great finish. Now, I think Arsenal are going to finish 5th this season. My reasoning is the mentality that team is going through at the moment. Being a Chelsea fan, obviously, if any Arsenal fans come across this video, they're going to just say I'm chatting shit. That's fine. But I want you to hear me out. Arteta's had he's on his 6th phase, 5th phase, whatever. He's not won a trophy in 5 years, and everyone knows this is his final season. This is his final make or break season, and I feel like the players are going to feel that more than anything, and he's going to make them feel that more than anything. And I think the pressure is going to build, and I don't think we've seen Saka be Saka since he's come back from injury. Will Saliba go to Real Madrid? Is Thomas Partey leaving? Is Zubimendi going to be a good player in the Premier League? These are all things. Is Sesko going to be better than Gyökeres? The whole talks of who's coming in for them up front. But I don't know if any of you have watched their style of football. They play sideways football. They don't play for a striker. Why do you think they scored goals with Mourinho up front, a centre mid? They don't play that kind of football. So it'll be interesting to see how they get around that. Now, don't get me wrong. Arsenal are a very good side. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, no, they're awful, but I think they're deluded. I think the fans are deluded. And I think that they need to understand, if you go on and figure out which team is the most successful team in the last 15 years, it's Chelsea, then Arsenal. And I know people are going to be like, oh, yeah, but David, Arsenal have beaten us more than we've beaten them. But look at which team's won the most trophies in the last 15 years in London. It's us. That's not me just blowing smoke up our asses again. That's the truth. Go on Google, go on chat, go on some AI thing. Ask them. They'll tell you. But yeah, I think Arsenal are going to crash this season. Every good team has their downfall, and they've been solidly good, but they've never been able to be that next stage. And I just think, this season they're just going to fall short. A lot of people disagreed with me when I said that Man United were going to finish below 12th. I got laughed at. Literally laughed at, and they did way worse than I even predicted. So I'd like to think, as much as this all seems mental, I think there's some good reasoning, and I think the mentality of the players, especially if they let's say for instance they're in the FA Cup, they get knocked out at the FA Cup or the Carabao, an early cup early on, and they get knocked out, it's game over for their mentality. And I think if they lose a few games at the beginning of the season, I think it's game over, and I wouldn't be too surprised if by Christmas Arteta is sacked. And hold my word to that. Someone clip that and come back to me in a while, by Christmas, and let me know if I was wrong. I could be wrong. Let's wait till the end of the transfer window and see what happens. Coming after Arsenal. Now, this is tough because you've got your Villas, you've got your Nottingham Forest. I'm actually, stay with me here, I'm going to put Tottenham. And the reason is they've just sacked Postecoglou, which as a Chelsea fan sucks because the guy was awful. Genuinely, historically awful. He won him a trophy. A European trophy, which is awful again. It sucks, but it's nice that they won and Arsenal didn't. I'd rather Tottenham win one than Arsenal, if I'm being completely honest. I hate both teams, but let's be honest, which fan base is more annoying? But yeah, Thomas Frank, he has a high intensity play, pressing. He very wide play, and I think he's a very tactically good manager, and I think that's what Tottenham need. And don't get me wrong, I hope it sucks for Tottenham. But we all know Tottenham have got some very good players. Van der Ven, Maddison, Son. But I think Son might be leaving. It's tough, innit? They just signed Matisse Tell, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, let's not talk about these useless people. Right, number 7. In 7th place, I'm going to say Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are continuously solid. I think they need a couple signings that are going to change their game, like really change their game. I think Emery has done a great job there. You know, the disciplined football. I mean, I know they had Rashford. Even Rashford did all right there. They had Asensio. It'd be interesting to see what signings they make this season. But yeah, I think Aston Villa comfortable 7th. I think they'll do all right. Maybe even win a cup. Maybe. Right. In 8th. That is 8th, right? 5, 6, 7, 8th. Bournemouth. I didn't write any stats about Bournemouth. Apart from the nipple man. That's what I call him. Areola. Finished 12th. Record 48 points under Areola. And I think they're only going to improve. I think we've seen a lot this season of those players really doing well. What's his name? Oh my God. Bear with me. Squad. What's that guy's name? Kluivert. Justin Kluivert. I think he's been brilliant. Justin Kluivert has been brilliant. I think he's really come through that last season. I think he's going to really shine next season. And I think they've got a couple good players in their team. Look, Kirkis is going. So it is going to be very, very interesting, actually, because if their left-back's going to Liverpool, will Kluivert want to leave? Do you think there'll be any teams that go for him? Let me know in the comments. That's an interesting one. Right, next up, Nottingham Forest. Do you know what? I was kind of rooting for him. I think that if we'd still beaten them at 1-0, end of the season, great win. Yeah, I think if we'd beaten them and they'd still had enough points to make it through Champions League, I think they really deserved it. And I think everyone, not just myself, thinks that they deserved a top 5 finish, to get in Champions League football. I think Chelsea, Newcastle and Nottingham Forest deserved it a lot more than Man City, especially with Man City's downfall midway through that season. And it's not so far out saying that. Man City have had enough glory in the last 10 years. They didn't deserve. So, they deserve to be relegated. And I think we're all really waiting to see what happens from that court case. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, I think they're going to do well again next season. I think they're going to attract some good players, especially with the way they played football. I think they were brilliant. But yeah, I don't want to spend too long because we're going to have to go through this again, especially when the transfers are done. So, after Nottingham Forest, Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Brighton, not going to go too much into it, even though they like to build players, sell them for a lot of money. I think it'd be interesting who comes in and out, especially with João Pedro wanting to leave. Their left winger, what's his name? Mitoma. That's it, Mitoma. Sorry, guys, don't click off. What is wrong with me? Yeah, I think there's talk that I know that Chelsea had little transfer rumours about going for him, but it'll be interesting who stays, who goes. Again, 50-50 side. You'll either get a great Brighton side that are very attacking, but then you get games that they just absolutely curl over. So I think Brentford are going to come after them in 11th. Not to go too much into them. Followed by, I'm going to actually speed this up to get to the relegation side of things. 11. It's tough, isn't it? Fulham. I think Fulham are pretty good, so I'm going to go Fulham. Then Crystal Palace. Nope, Crystal Palace there, thank you. West Ham. It's 11, 12, 13, 14. Three more teams. Come on. Do you know what? This is really I think Leeds are going to stay up. I don't think they're going to finish any higher. So I'm actually going to say Everton there. Wolves, United. And I think the same teams that came up are going to go down. Look, it doesn't matter which order these three are in. It's tough, isn't it? I think Leeds will scrape between United. And look, United fans don't hate me. The reason I'm saying I think they're going to drop back and they're going to finish in 17th again. And do you know what? Even touch relegation at times. I think they're missing out in European football and the fact they're going to have to redo their whole squad again. And stay with me on this one. Don't call me crazy. There's going to be no chemistry in the team. There's going to be frustration and players might want to leave in January if things don't go well. I think it'll be surprising to see what Amarin, if he stays by Christmas. The same as Arsenal. If Manchester United get rid of a lot of their core players, they're going to struggle. They've struggled already. They don't have the team anymore. They don't have that aura of Manchester United. Don't get me wrong, for a team like Chelsea, they are a bogey side. We always struggle against them. But I think United are just, even with the new signing, and they keep going for these big players, but like I've been saying to other people outside of this, all these big name players want to play European football. They want to be in Champions League football. They don't want to be wasting their time, and they don't want to be players that are having to sell themselves short in the hopes of getting somewhere that isn't promised. So it sounds ridiculous. It sounds mental, and I know a lot of people are going to very much disagree with Man United, or they're going to laugh, and they are going to agree with me. You guys might agree with me. You know, look at the season they've had this season. A lot of those players, 40% of those players are going. And I guarantee you that 40% of those players were starting, part of the starting 11. I think even if they did get a goal scorer in there, their defence is awful. And who's going to want to sign from them that are decent? That's all I'm saying. But yeah, look, that is my Premier League prediction for the end of the season before transfer window. I think it could massively change. I think if Arsenal sign a Gyökeres, someone signs an Osimhen, let's say, or make midfield changes, defensive changes, and we can just really all look at this and go, right, wow, I was wrong on this. This is what I'm going to think. And what I'm going to do is I might have to tweak it. I might even look at it and say, let's keep this exactly the same. But I want you guys to go and give this a go, or just leave in the thing in the comments I want to know who your top 5 and your relegation is. But who's touching relegation? That's what I want to know. So I don't care about mid-table. Maybe let me know if maybe you're a Tottenham fan, Man United fan, or whatever. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I know obviously if you're a United fan, you're going to naturally disagree and say you're going to fight for Europe again. But you have to be reasonable with yourself. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win a trophy this season anyway. So just let it go. And Arsenal fans, chill. Back your team. That's all I'm going to say this season, is they're going to need you more than ever. Right. So, pre-season game, first Club World Cup game tomorrow. So that pre-match video will be out tomorrow. So please check it out. I'd much appreciate it. Until then, have a good rest of your Sunday. And I will catch you in a bit. Peace.